Vietnam, and greetings.
The police action in Vietnam is a popular setting for film. Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket, Platoon, We Were Soldiers, Rules of Engagement, Forrest Gump, and many other movies focus on the action of the war. A number of films, like Taxi Driver and First Blood, focus on how the war affected veterans after they physically returned home. All of these films show a brutal, explicit, and pointless conflict with body counts rivaling American mass shooters. The front lines of any war offer an easy way to show external conflict. The atrocities of the Vietnam War offer an easy way to show internal conflict.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Is not that kind of film. It's the story of an Air Force disc jockey bringing humor to Armed Forces Radio Saigon. This is as far away from the front lines as you can get while still being in country. Adrian Cronauer is a POG, a REMF, a nonner. He's support personnel. As former military support personnel myself, this movie nails the setting. The stupid rules, the relative casualness, and the out-of-touch leadership is perfectly depicted. It speaks to my experiences, and that may be why it affects me so deeply. From here on out will be spoilers. If you haven't seen Good Morning Vietnam, please do yourself a favor and watch it. This film features Robin Williams at his best, an amazing soundtrack, and a cameo from one of my old units. This movie sparingly uses some slurs in ways that mock racists and bigots. If you're sensitive to that kind of language, steer clear of this film.
Please welcome to the microphone the Lieutenant of Laughs, the Officer of Oral, the Westmoreland of Wit, swinging Stephen Houck.
If you're still here, you either have seen the movie or just don't care about spoilers. So let's get to it. This movie's conflict is between Cronauer and his superiors from start to finish. Leadership doesn't appreciate the humor that Cronauer brings to his show. How dare he make fun of former Vice President Nixon? How dare he play divisive music like the Beach Boys? But the conflict goes deeper. The movie hints at it before the turning point. Can you see it? Did you see the hints? The movie's tone makes a dark shift at exactly the halfway mark.
Still can't believe she really wants to see me.
Yeah.
Guess that beach movie really impressed her, huh? I gotta get her something. What about bananas?
No.
No, that doesn't say the right thing, you're right. How about...
The war directly affected Cronauer in a way he can't ignore. He's seen the face of the dead. The crossed out words on the news bulletins represent actual lives to him now. He was moments away from being part of those lines. His next time on the air is the only time he's had a hard time talking. Each time he's complied with censorship, a tragedy had occurred. Why censor these pointless deaths? Why? There's no sensitive information about a bombed bar. It's propaganda, and it shakes him to the core. He's a tool used by the US government when he thought he was just enjoying his own comedy. Now, his conflict with leadership revolves around truth, rather than humor. Why provide humor when it's taking the place of meaningful and impactful news? Why let those lives pass without a single acknowledgement? Adrian Cronauer has an encounter with some big Red One troops headed to the front lines. He just wants to sulk and brood in his existential crisis, but he relents to putting on a show. They love him. They look dejected sitting in their trucks, resigned to a rough deployment in the Vietnam countryside. Cronauer raised their spirits with his words and humor. Behind a microphone, he was insulated from his viewers. Seeing their reaction revives his drive to be live on air. The movie isn't explicit here. Making people laugh clearly motivates Cronauer, as evidenced with the language school. That's a noble goal, but it's not deep enough to pull Cronauer out of his sulking. My interpretation is that Cronauer realized that he provides laughs when his listeners could be crying. His words and voices are the words against despair. For all he knows, his show could have been the last laughter of the lives he was glossed over. If a smile is a goal, laughter is a triumph. We live in a world where mainstream news media cares more about views than their impact. It's the opposite problem of the film, and negative emotions are easy pickings. How many of you have fallen into that hole called doom scrolling? I definitely have. It's easy to become angry or desensitized. We, like Adrian Cronauer, need to realize that there are human beings whose lives are changed by the ticker tape, the Twitter feed, the radio broadcast. These aren't media to entertain. These are media to inform. We decide what to do with that information, whether that's vote a certain way, become an activist, donate to a nonprofit, or simply ignore the information just because it hasn't affected you personally. On a smaller scale, you could thank someone for their support in a tough time. I've been having a tough time, and supportive people are worth their weight in gold. So let me start. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for that constructive criticism. It's a privilege to take comedy notes from a man of your stature.
Fine. Just don't let it happen again.